Hey, what's up folks, this is Russ, also known as RK Slade, with some Fortnite Battle Royale Season 4 video action. Who's excited about the new map? I know I am. I've put together a little tour of the new points of interest that have shown up on the map, which clearly indicates that the giant meteor or comet or asteroid thingy in the sky has now collided with our beloved world here in Fortnite. The most obvious question people had coming into Season 4 was, is Tilted Tower still standing?
Bruh.
And the simple answer is yes, but before we get to that, let's talk about the primary landing spot of our otherworldly visitor, Dusty Depot. A trio of inconspicuous giant warehouses filled with not much more than a chest or two and a few wooden pallets. Well, not anymore. Dusty Depot is now Dusty Divot, ground zero for this comet's impact. As we fly into the area, we can see that the crater left where the comet smashed into the ground is huge. It's still a wide open area just like Dusty was before, but filled with strange new stones from another world perhaps. There are plenty of opportunities to grab some loot and metal, while also picking up these new power-up items called Hop Rocks that grant the player a short burst of low gravity. As you move around the map, you'll also find secondary impact points where pieces of the space rock have hit the ground. At these, you might find a few chests and more glowing Hop Rocks. Not to be outdone, but on a much smaller scale, we fly over to Tilted Towers to check out the devastation. It's not total destruction, but at least 2 buildings were hit hard by the incoming barrage of space rocks from the fallen comet. Most of the city remains intact, so those of you who love the chaos of battling it out among the buildings will still get your fill when landing here. As we move to the west side of the map, we find a very well-hidden secret lair that calls us back to our favorite secret agent spy and hero movies.
Bond. James Bond.
Built into the side of the mountain just to the northeast of Snobby's shores, a sinister face sneers out into the ocean. As we move closer, we uncover what could possibly be the HQ of some nefarious supervillain.
Dr. Evil! I didn't spend 6 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you very much.
Complete with a missile ready to fire into the atmosphere for no purpose other than world domination. Inside the lair, we don't find any liquid hot magma, but there are other amenities like a pool and a garage for all those purple evil mobiles. Of course, if there's an evil supervillain lair, then there must also be some sort of superhero base, right? Yeah. Of course, but we'll get into that in a little while. Like I mentioned earlier, as we move around the map, we'll see some smaller craters filled with space rock and Hop Rocks, and a few chests. This one sits just to the north of the missile silo and due south of Haunted Hills. As we move up past Junk Junction, we come across the set of a television show on the northernmost point on the island. Well, that is if you don't count the steel llama. You can see it appears as if the set is for some sort of show that is filmed in front of a live audience. Moving to the east and toward Anarchy Acres, we find the motel. As we saw in the trailer, the sign is wrecked by a meteor that also flips the RV onto the dilapidated building. I must confess, since I play a more stealthy
Sneaky, sir.
style, it's one of my favorite places to land. That being said, we come upon a new point of interest called Risky Reels. It's an old-fashioned drive-in movie theater. It's been hit by a space rock as well, and the cars are upended and scattered throughout the area, some tossed up onto the outlying buildings. My hometown still has an operating drive-in theater, so this was a perfect addition in my opinion. You'll find lots of space metal and a few Hop Rocks here, as well as several more buildings in which to search for chests and loot. As we begin to circle back south, Wailing Woods and Lonely Lodge seem to be untouched. Let me know in the comments if you found anything different. On the easternmost point of the island, we find what might possibly be the Superhero HQ base. It's a big old house with lots of rooms to explore. If the missile silo is where the bad guys hang out, then this definitely seems to be the hub for heroes. Another small crater with chests and space stones sits just to the west of the dirt bike track. Probably one of the least visited points of interest on the map is the prison, and it got demolished. Of course, part of the outer structure still stands, but we can see here that most of it is open to the impact crater. You'll still be able to find lots of loot and chests here, but be wary it's not as closed in as it once was. Moving into Moistymire, another less common landing point, we find an amazing movie set complete with suspended helicopter and tracks for moving camera rigs. There are huge green screens and several areas for cast and crew. I think this would be a great location for a Predator movie. Well, there you have it, most of the major new points of interest in Season 4. There are a few smaller crater impacts that I left out, but you get the idea. Crater equals space rocks that give you metal and Hop Rocks that make you super jump. If you're like me and you love Fortnite and you love superheroes and villains, then you're definitely excited about this season as the content seems to be geared around some sort of heroes and villains theme.
Oh, you bet.
What's your favorite part about the new map? Let me know below in the comments. My name is Russ, also known as RK Slade. I play on PS4 Pro. Thank you so much for the likes and comments, and I hope to see you in the next video.